you know I'm drinking my Joffrey's coffee this morning, and as always, thinking of the Walt Disney World Resort, and I thought, let me rank the Walt Disney World Resort hotels. Now, I'm going to be ranking these in a few categories, and of course, as always, I will be putting the timestamps below in case you want to zip right to one of them. First, I'm going to be ranking the resorts on food, and next I'm going to be ranking the resorts on overall theming, and then finally, just kind of like taking everything into account, I'm just going to rank them by the overall vibe that the Disney Resort has. I would love to know what you think of all of these resorts, so let me know your ranking down below in the comment. And welcome back, friends, or if you are new here, welcome. I'm Teresa, and I upload videos multiple days a week. We share one little spark of life together. Hit that subscribe button before you leave. That way we can hang out multiple times a week, and you can join in on the fun. All right, so first up is going to be food. And whenever I talk about the resort foods, chances are I'm just going to be talking about the quick service. At the hotels, typically that is all I eat. Every so often I'll get a table service, or the actual theme parks. If you do have a table service that you absolutely love at a Disney resort though, let me know so I can check it out on my next trip. My categories are life-changing, so the food was completely life-changing, pretty amazing, it's okay, an overall theme park food, and it made me sick. And I do want to say, by the way, the only one that is not on this list, because I've never actually gone to it at all, except for like on the Magical Express or Mears bus, is Old Key West. I've actually booked 2 separate stays at Old Key West, but had to cancel both of them for various reasons. So that is the only one that will not be on this list. All right, so first up is Pop Century. I'm going to say that Pop Century food is pretty amazing. And I noticed this on the last few trips. I've noticed that the value resorts actually do much better than the moderate or deluxe resorts on their food, specifically on the variety of food. Also have a wider variety, which is good for like food issues. So like food allergies or intolerances, things like that. Also, their tie-dye cheesecake is chef's kiss. For the Wilderness Lodge, I'm actually going to bump it up to life-changing. On my second to last Disney trip, I will link those vlogs down below if you do want to check them out, by the way. I spent a few nights at the Wilderness Lodge, well, technically Copper Creek. They share the same food areas. Like literally everything that I ate, from the salty food to the sweet food, was so scrumptious. Absolutely loved it. The Wilderness Lodge definitely has food that I would go out of my way to get. So if I would just be resort hopping somewhere, I would definitely resort hop to there to grab a bite. Fort Wilderness, on the other hand, which technically is like the same grounds, but it's not, that actually, it made me sick. Now, this was way back whenever I did my Disney College program. That's the last time that I ate at Fort Wilderness. It legitimately made me sick. However, I don't think it was anything to do with the actual food. It was more to do with me. That was before I realized I had a lot of food intolerances, and one of the things that I cannot handle is barbecue. Sadly, because I love barbecue so much. And that is a lot of what the quick service at Fort Wilderness is. It's a barbecue shindig sort of thing. And so, yeah, unfortunately, made me really sick. Next up is the food at the Caribbean Beach Resort. I'm going to say it's just okay. Now, it's been a few years since I've eaten there, so maybe they've upped their game. But I found that the selection, it's a moderate resort. The selection was okay. It was on the smaller side. And I really didn't find anything teeters between it's okay and theme park food. I didn't think it was like the best ever, but it wasn't horrible either. With Colorado Springs, I think it is just okay. Once again, I haven't eaten there since they did like their big remodel, since they had, like crickets were going in my head. Since they built the Destino Tower, I haven't been there, so maybe the food has really been amped up, but from my experience, it's okay, take it or leave it. Next up is Port Orleans. I am putting, so if you didn't notice, I don't have like the individual like DVC resorts, or like in this case, Port Orleans. They share, if I'm not mistaken, the same food court, but you have like Port Orleans French Quarter and Riverside, and that's a theming thing, which we'll talk about when we get to the theming. But for the purposes of my tier list, I'm kind of just clumping them all together. Port Orleans, I'm going to say only for one thing am I going to bump it up to pretty amazing, because I would say it's okay, but it's pretty amazing because of the beignets. Now, I would not expect anything less of Disney because they do their homework on these things. But those beignets taste just like they were like popped out of New Orleans and immediately transported to the resort. They are scrumptious. Animal Kingdom Lodge is up next, and I'm actually just going to leave it there because I've gone to Animal Kingdom Lodge and I think I've had maybe like a cup of coffee or like a fountain drink, but I've never actually eaten any of the food. Once again, that was a resort that I had booked to stay at and had to cancel, so it's here. Beach Club, and I'm gonna put this for pretty amazing just because, and I guess this is the table service, not quick service. I don't think the Beach Club has like a true quick service. Beaches and Cream, it's the only one I've eaten at, so if there is a quick service, I have missed it. I haven't stayed here. I think it's pretty amazing, specifically for the ice cream. And I know, you're probably like, all ice cream's the same, but it's something about like the magic of the Beach Club at Beaches and Creams. It's probably the theming, like it all takes into account, more than likely it's mediocre ice cream, but it's so good. Their sundaes are so yummy. I have the Contemporary twice here. I feel like I'm missing one then. The Contemporary was life-changing. One of the breakfasts that I ate on my last day at the Contemporary was like out of this world. I think about that breakfast sandwich literally every morning as I'm pouring my Cheerios, or like my store brand Cheerios, let's be honest, into the bowl to eat. And I'm just like, I could be eating this. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a grilled cheese and egg on challah, melty sort of sandwich. It was so good. You could have gotten it with ham if you wanted, or like bacon or other things. It was delicious. And that was actually on my last day, the literal only thing that I ate that I did not document. And it was the best thing that I had at that hotel. Likewise, the Grand Floridian, that's actually one that I have eaten both quick service and table service. Not all of the table services at the Grand Floridian because there are quite a few. Their quick service is exceptional. I really love it. Also on my last trip, ate at the Grand Floridian Cafe, and I had a quiche that was phenomenal. So I do like to go to the Grand Floridian on each trip. I love to resort hop, and so that's one that I love to go to because it's really calming and relaxing. I like to grab a bite to eat and hang out by the, what's it called? The docks, whatever they're called. I know that there's an actual name for it, but that area with the water feature. So relaxing. Absolutely love the food too. We're gonna go next with the Yacht Club, and I'm gonna say it's okay. Like, it's not theme park food. I haven't eaten at like any of the actual like restaurants at the Yacht Club on a trip to meet up with some friends who were living there at the like lounge bar grill area. So we had some drinks, we had some lounge food, and it was okay. It was more so like the theming was really nice. It was really like super posh theming because the Yacht Club is like super, like a little too super posh for my taste, but like super high class. The theming of the lounge was too. Really enjoyed the company that I kept there. But yeah, the food was just like, it's all right. Take it or leave it. So we're going to skip over Bay Lake because, like I said, they don't have any sort of food. And next we're going to go to the Polynesian. And I'm going to go with actually just pretty amazing. Or life-changing. Pretty amazing. Like, because there's a lot to take in here with the Polynesian. So I don't think their quick service is like anything to write home about. So yeah, I guess it's okay. Their table services though, I love Ohana's. I love Ohana's for both breakfast and dinner. Like, because they have to, like, obviously different foods. I love that you can get some of their items in the lounge next to Ohana. Their bread pudding, and I hate bread pudding everywhere else, but their bread pudding is amazing, as is the Tonga toast, which is amazing as well. I guess the like life-changing amazing, like I would go back in a heartbeat and eat only there, outweighs just the quick service. And you can also get Dole Whip. I'm gonna go to life-changing. I'm gonna flip it. It's, yeah, the Polynesian food is pretty life-changing. So for Riviera, I have only eaten it's gonna be it's okay because I've only eaten like a pastry, and it was okay. It was okay pastry. It wasn't like the best in the whole wide world. I'd love to go and eat actual food at the Riviera, maybe on a next trip. But yeah, the pastries were like, yeah, that's fine. Oh, the All-Stars. That is what is missing from these lists. I just realized it. That's what the other Contemporary was probably supposed to be. I feel like I'm missing, and the Boardwalk. I would put the All-Stars at It's Okay. None of these I think are going to be theme park food now that I've actually thought about it. All-Stars, I'm lumping them together. Music, movies, and sports. It's okay food. Take it or leave it, but it's okay. And then, what else did I say? The Boardwalk as well. it's okay. All right, and finally, Saratoga Springs. I'm gonna say that that is life-changing because the pizza at Saratoga Springs, the trip that I stayed there, like I split my stay between Saratoga and the Wilderness Lodge. I ate pizza so much on that trip because it was so good. It was so good. I don't know. It was a little personal pizza. It was thin crust but chewy at the same time. The cheeses were like the assortment of cheese. I don't know. Delicious. And they have, you know how I've said at least twice, I think about this food constantly. I think about this cupcake. It was the bullseye cupcake. It was a peanut butter cupcake. Like that, it doesn't sound life-changing, but it was. So before we move on to the next ranking list, let me know, did you agree with my thoughts on the different foods at Walt Disney World Resorts? All right, so next we're going to go into Disney Resort theming. At the very top, it is you're at Disney. Like Disney threw up in it. Like you can tell like you are 100% at a Disney resort. And I'm talking about not necessarily in the rooms because I have not gone to all of the rooms, but beside Old Key West, I have gone to all of the Disney resorts because, as I said before, or if you skip to this one, I love resort hopping. Next, it's kind of like a step down. It's an understated Disney. You know, you're there, there's a few references, but overall, a more mature Disney, if you will. Just a relaxing, it's an overall relaxing theming while you're there. Then we have nostalgic. It's just bringing, and this I guess is to me, or I guess anyone of like my generation. It's just a nostalgic feel to be there. And then finally, kind of boring, TBH. So since I did not put them on this, let me just start out by saying we have the All-Star Resorts. Oh, this is another reason that I think I forgot. I also haven't been to Art of Animation, so that is why that one is not on any of these lists. All right, so you're at Disney. That is where the All-Star Resorts are clearly at something that belongs to Disney, and you see Disney everywhere. In the lobby, in the rooms, outside. It's this big, in-your-face Disney, and I love it. Boardwalk is relaxing. I just find in general it's relaxing. There are like Disney touches. There's Disney touches at all of these resorts to varying degrees, but it's just an overall relaxing feeling once you're there. Pop Century is another one that it's like you are at Disney. Pop Century, by the way, is my absolute favorite value resort. Love it if you haven't caught on to that yet. So if you're going and you want to 100% feel from the moment that you get off that bus that you are in this Disney bubble and everything is Disney, Pop Century is the way to go. So now we have the Wilderness Lodge. I'm going to say that this is relaxing. This is one of my favorite resorts to take a boat over or a bus over to and just chill out in the lobby. Fort Wilderness, I'm going to say it has a bit of nostalgia for me. We never stayed there growing up because it's like cabins and campers and tent camps, and we're not camping people, but we would go to the Hoop-TD Review. I'm drinking the coffee, but this is my first mug of the day. So like my brain is not working. So we would go to the Hoop-TD Review whenever I was younger. And so now whenever I see Fort Wilderness, that nostalgia just comes back. But I do hear from friends who have stayed there that if you want a like super relaxing and actually feel like you're not at Disney sort of vacation, that would be the way to go, would be Fort Wilderness. With Caribbean Beach, I'm going to go with understated Disney, unless of course you're staying in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean themed rooms, then that is like very, very Disney. Same with Colorado Springs, understated Disney. There is a definitely like you're at Walt Disney World vibe going on, but it like spliced in. It's not that everywhere you go is going to be like huge statues of the Disney characters. I'm gonna say that Port Orleans, both Riverside and French Quarter, I'm gonna say they're kind of boring. And that's because if you have never watched my videos before, you just don't know, I'm from Louisiana. So to me, I think that it's like, it's beautiful. The resort, I would love to stay there. It's on my bucket list for Disney, to stay at every single Disney World resort. But I don't like their quick service area. I find that it's just boring. The architecture here, I could get driving 3 hours up the road. So like to me, it's kind of like, it's nothing really new. Animal Kingdom Lodge is definitely on the relaxing side. I don't like the lobby as much as I like the lobby for Wilderness Lodge, but it's pretty good. Next up, we have Beach Club, and I'm gonna put it for nostalgia. Not nostalgic from whenever I was growing up, but nostalgic from whenever I did the college program. My friends and I would go over a lot because it was, if you're new to the whole area, You can walk from Epcot to Beach Club, Yacht Club, and the boardwalk. It's a big circle to walk back in. So a lot of times we would walk over for Beaches and Cream, or we would just walk over to those resorts. And so that one, it is relaxing, but it's a bit of like a jab of nostalgia quite as well. The Contemporary, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with you're at Disney, because even though it's not like Disney threw up there, the monorail passes through it. You cannot be staying at the Contemporary or just be in the Contemporary and not know like you are at Disney World. The Mary Blair murals, Be Still, My Heart. I'm obsessed with those. Obsessed with those murals. I'm obsessed with the monorail. If you didn't know that about me, I'm obsessed with it. So just that, all in all, I just feel 100% that I'm at Disney. They also have Chef Mickey in the Contemporary. So if you catch it at the right time, even if you're not there for like to eat at Chef Mickey, if you're just in the area, you get to see Mickey and friends dressed like cooks. It's adorable. So the Grand Floridian, I don't know if I'm going to put relaxing or nostalgic. Like, we've never stayed, but we've always gone in the lobby of the Grand Floridian just to kind of relax from the theme park. So I'm just going to go with relax. It's relaxing whether you're inside or out, but I love to go, especially in the afternoon when the piano player is playing. Before they fired them, you could go at some points and hear the band play, a big band play. Super relaxing. Also, if they ever bring it back, I would highly recommend, if you're looking for a little relaxing me time splurge, have a tea room. I would highly recommend that you go have tea at the Grand Floridian. It is truly a great experience. For Bay Lake Tower, I'm going to go with the actual rooms here. That is why it's on here as well as the Contemporary is on here. I'm going to go with Understated Disney for this, because there's not much in ways, like there is a lobby at Bay Lake, but I'm talking about like the actual rooms and the actual hallways, because there are Disney things. There's Disney animation artwork, so that is a very understated Disney sort of thing. Next up is Yacht Club, and I kind of hinted at it whenever I was like, it's kind of too posh for me. I think the Yacht Club's kind of boring, to be honest. It's dark wood paneling. It's just not my thing. Next up is the Polynesian. So for me, I want to say at the Polynesian, I'm at Disney, but it's not like, there's actually very little Disney there. Like, I know in the rooms they rethemed most, if not all of them, to be Moana, which that's a conversation for another day. But I feel like I'm at Disney whenever I go to the Polynesian, because that is like my, when they're like, or maybe you don't, when you have surgery and they're like giving you everything to put you to sleep, and every time they've been like, all right, go to your happy place. This is it. This is where I go mentally. I go to the lobby of the Polynesian. I love it. I love it so much. The smells, I just love it. I love it so much. I love being at the beach, like out at the beach. I don't actually like the beach, but I like being out at the beach. But I'm going to say it's probably more relaxing for me. Riviera is next. Now, I haven't stayed there. I've just wandered around. As of now, I think it's kind of boring. I don't know why. So I think it's kind of boring, but it also has a lot of understated Disney. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And maybe if I stayed there, I'd feel differently. But it's just like, it's okay. Kind of boring, but it is also understated Disney. Yeah, I'll put it on understated Disney because there's so many, which I thought was really cool. There's so many pictures from Walt Disney and his family on vacations. And so that was really neat. And that's the only reason really that it's bumped up and it's not just kind of boring. All right. And then finally at Saratoga Springs, even though it is not our home resort, Bay Lake Tower is our home resort. I love staying at Saratoga Springs. I know a lot of people don't, because they kind of feel it doesn't have great theming, which granted it doesn't. It's like a very, very, very understated Disney. But I feel that it's just calming and relaxing, and I feel like it is home. We're just going to put it as relaxing. All right, and finally, we have the Disney Resort overall vibe. So this is taking literally everything into account. And because I haphazardly made these lists, as you're well aware, I left 2 out. I forgot to take off the very last portion. We have that magic is pumped in. Like 100% there has to be something in the air because it is that great. Next under that is it feels like home. Then it was a choice. Like it's not not horrible, but it was a choice. And then finally, not my taste. So first we're going to go with the All-Star Resorts. I'm going to say Magic is pumped in for there. Boardwalk, I'm going to say it actually feels like home. Even though we haven't stayed there, I feel like it's a very relaxing place to be. And just, it has a very like homey vibe to it overall, and it feels like almost like I was transplanted there, and so it's like in the back of my head like a memory from like centuries gone by. You know, Pop Century, Magic is pumped in. For the Wilderness Lodge, I'm gonna say it feels like home for whatever reason. It always has. It is one of the most cozy resorts, going from whenever you enter the lobby to the actual rooms. For Fort Wilderness, I'm gonna go, at least currently, not my taste. Definitely think that if you were like a super outdoorsy person, you would love this one. Now with Caribbean Beach, I'm gonna go with It Was a Choice. Actually, I'm gonna go with It Feels Like Home. Now that I've thought about it, like this was one of the first resorts that I stayed at. I've stayed there a few other times, and just, yeah, besides a few things, overall, I really enjoyed the time there. So whenever I do see the Caribbean Beach, like from a distance now, because I haven't stayed there in a while, I do feel like it's almost like a homey sort of resort. So Colorado Springs, I liked that resort. I'm going to say now it's a choice. Just like it was a choice. And maybe if I actually go and like in the actual Destino Tower, I'll feel differently. But it's almost like, what was the point of that? And I know the point of it was so that more people could stay on property. Maybe on the inside it does. But to me, it's like you took a good resort and you changed it. I sound like such a like curmudgeon, but like you took a good resort that had good theming and a good layout and it was calming, and then like that's there now. So like, yeah, it was a choice. Port Orleans, I'm gonna say not my taste. I feel like I'm gonna get like kicked out of Louisiana for saying this. I don't like New Orleans. There, I said it. I don't like New Orleans. And so why would I go and spend money to stay at a place that looks like New Orleans? Animal Kingdom Lodge, I'm going to say it was a choice as well. I find that Animal Kingdom Lodge, even though it's beautiful and relaxing, I feel that it's a very dark hotel. It's there's a lot of wood paneling in there. Maybe it's just because when I've gone, it's been an overcast day, but I find it's like the lobby is very dark. And just in general, like I have trouble seeing with lighting. I have lighting issues. And so like if it's too dark, it's difficult for me to see. Beach Club, I'm gonna go to It Feels Like Home as well, leaning in on that nostalgia. The Contemporary, I wax poetic about it. The theming segment. So yeah, I'm gonna say Magic is pumped in there. Same with the Grand Floridian. There is something about the Grand Floridian, especially at Christmas time when they have the giant gingerbread house there. Oh my gosh. I'm in love. I'm in love with the Grand Floridian. I feel like Magic is pumped in there. Yacht Club, you already know. Not my taste at all. We're gonna go for Bay Lake, that It Feels Like Home, because at Walt Disney World it literally is. The Polynesian as well. Ooh. Magic is pumped in, or It Feels Like Home? I'm going to say It Feels Like Home. The Riviera, I'm going to say it was a choice because, like I said, I've only walked through it. It is my taste in general. Like if I was I would love to go to the Riviera. And there, like the literal Riviera, like the French Riviera. There, it would be like amazing. But I don't know. I don't know. It was a choice. It just doesn't, I cannot fully explain it. If someone else agrees with me, please let me know in the comments down below. And then finally, last but not least, we have Saratoga Springs, and that feels like home as well. Realized in editing that I never filmed an outro, so thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. If you have something else that you would like to see my ranking on, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what all of the Disney resorts fell on your ranking list in the comments. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!